I'm Leslie.
And I'm Shelly.
And we are Sisters in Ebert. Welcome back for our Movie Monday.
Woo, time for fireworks.
Epic proportions.
Woo,
we are going to save the world.
Well,
Not
with a lot of carnage in there, too. So
our movie for today is the 1996, I believe.
96.
Classic, Independence Day.
Independence Day.
All right. So we're opening up on July 2nd with moon landing clips.
Mm-hmm. Not Independence Day yet.
No, not yet. It's a misleading title. There's an ominous shadow that covers the moon in view of Earth, and it is revealed to be a spaceship.
It is enormous.
It's huge. Yeah, it is definitely huge.
It's frightening.
There's no flipping way. Like, this would not destroy us.
Yeah, we'd be dead so fast. But continue.
So we cut to New Mexico at an extraterrestrial institute, where they got a message sounding like tapping calls, like it sounded like tapping, like, but it might have been Morse code, but it was like a tap.
Yeah.
It didn't sound like Morse code.
The dude was so excited about it.
Yeah, because they're sitting there all the time, and he's usually got nothing to do, so he's in the middle.
I don't know how he still has a job.
So he calls up his sleeping boss in the middle of the night. They calculate that the distance from the source reveals that the message is coming from the moon. So they get more excited because it's coming from the moon.
Oh, yay! This is wonderful news.
So they're gonna, try to make contact and all that. Cut to the Pentagon, where neither place can understand the message, which is slowing down now, and they called the Secretary of Defense. We cut to President Whitmore, the wonderful Bill Pullman,
Lone Star.
Lone Star.
He's really moved up in the world.
He has. I mean,
you think he'd know how to take down this ship pretty fast, but
he's had experience firsthand.
Baseball.
It's the space ball. Okay, so we cut to President Whitmore.
Sorry. Off topic.
Sidebar. It's 2:45 a.m. His daughter is in the bed with him while his wife is away. She's a little girl, and they're he's president, and she's very little to be the first daughter.
She's super cute.
Yeah, she's adorable.
Extremely neglected in this movie.
Yeah, she's being raised by nobody.
She's a good little thing.
Yeah, so Whitmore is criticized for his age. He's a very young president.
He is.
And he's found to be of the 10 sexiest men, but many think he's too young. We're cutting to New York City, where Jeff Goldblum! Wonderful Jeff Goldblum! I know. And this is like peak Jeff Goldblum.
Yes.
I said, people might argue it's Jurassic Park, but I don't know.
I know.
It's this whole era.
Well, you got this from, this was after Jurassic Park.
Yeah, this was after Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park was 94. So Jeff Goldblum and his dad are playing chess in the park. His name is David. I didn't get that right away, so David is divorced for 3 years and still wearing his wedding ring. His father hassles his slow chess game as David wins, and he's very into conservation efforts.
Yeah, he's super recycling.
Yeah, it took a couple points off of Jeff Goldblum.
a little heavy.
It was over the top.
Yeah.
Like, I get, it's important.
We're all trying.
Yes, but
I don't need to be judged about it.
So his assistant is Harvey Fierstein, who's a journalist and a scientist. I put question mark.
Yeah, I was very confused
by
what the job was at first.
He can't detect the signal. So I guess they were getting the signal. They were aware of the signal too. Harvey Fierstein was aware of the signal.
Yes, it was because it was interrupting. They were like cable, weren't they?
Oh,
satellite
yes.
TV,
yes.
And it was interrupting all the satellites.
Right. So it was messing it up.
Yeah, it was like glitchy.
But he's all excited about it.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, this is different. And I love Harvey Fierstein.
He's
great. He's fantastic. David is, I put that already. So we cut to California, where Cousin Eddie, Randy Quaid.
That's all I can think.
I know, me too. I feel bad because he's been typecast for the rest of his life.
Yeah, he's so good at it though.
Yeah, so Randy Quaid is Russell, and he's flying a small plane drunk. And he's a farmer. And I guess he's crop dusting, but
yes.
I don't know. Maybe one of you knows. What's the purpose of crop dusting? I hear that term a lot.
Is it like fertilizing, sort of?
Maybe. I don't know.
I think
That probably is what it is. Okay. But if you know, Comment and let us know.
We're not farmers.
We're not farmers. We come from farmers. We should know this.
Yeah, we should.
But we don't.
Be a simple Google search,
we're like,
you tell us instead.
We're like 2 generations adjacent to farmers.
Yeah,
so
like
it's
we've seen how hard it is, and we opted out.
So back to the White House. Satellites have trouble detecting. They're unsure of what to do. Half of the military is on weekend leave because it's coming up to be
the 4th of
July. Yeah. So whatever it is breaking up into pieces and will enter the Earth atmosphere in the next 25 minutes. The president takes this to DEFCON 3.
DEFCON 3.
Whatever that is.
I don't know.
It sounds scary though.
It does. It sounds intense.
So David finds a way to get the satellite unscrambled. He's really smart. He knows like all the computer tech stuff.
Right. He's obviously so much smarter than his job.
Yeah.
Like he's not in his field.
No, he's working below what he could be doing. The first piece touches down in Iraq, and the second is confirmed in the Persian Gulf, and the third is on the California coastline. Sorry, I almost said Carolina. California coastline.
Yeah. And they're not landing.
They're hovering. They're just chilling.
Ominously.
Silently.
Yes.
Yeah.
And everybody's just like, what the heck is that up in the sky?
So they're touching down all over now. There's tons of them. They're all over the place. And they're moving slow. No visibility appears, and they appear as a cloud almost, but they wipe out the first military plane sent in. No questions asked. Just bam,
gone.
Vaporized.
So because they tried to make contact.
Yeah.
Like just like a
how do you do?
Yeah.
How not necessary. Big sum of blood. Okay. So President Whitmore is staying put, but moving the vice president and the cabinet to a secure location. They try to get Whitmore to move too, and he says no, he has to deal with this.
And in this moment, I'm thinking, you have a young child. Maybe go to the
bunker and do it from there. But
because he was like, I don't want to scare the people that thinking that I'm hiding. Well, it's like they don't know where you are. No. You're not exactly like making press conference.
It's not like
TMZ's
here. Following you around.
96, buddy. You can hide and nobody's gonna know.
Yeah, nobody's gonna know. I didn't know where the president was until I still don't know where the president is.
He could be anywhere now. Yeah. He could be in a bunker. We don't know.
He could be. Okay. So David is still trying to make sense of the satellite. It's not their equipment malfunctioning. The signal itself is, I guess.
Yeah, it's just interrupting.
It's interrupting, yeah. So Russell crop dusted the wrong field, and he's mocked for being an addict, or being abducted by aliens. Sorry. He's a drunk, but he was abducted by aliens several years prior, which he's very vocal about.
Yeah, which everyone blames on his drunkenness.
Right. They think he's making it up, and he's just drunk and crazy.
So sure.
No. As another ship cloud appears. Other ships are arriving in New York City and Washington, D.C. They're blocking out the sun, and I put enter Will Smith and girlfriend and her son.
Here they are.
Yep. So our ship is first visible in New York City out of the cloud, because it was just clouds appearing before, and now it's out of the cloud. It's taking up the whole space of Manhattan. So if you are from, it's huge. And that's a piece of what was up by the moon before.
Right.
Like it's not.
This is little
they were
subships.
all together, and and now they're breaking into little subships, like Shell said.
Excuse me.
No problem. So an equal ship is over Washington, D.C., and Will Smith is awake now after he was being woken up by his girlfriend's son, and after being told about an earthquake, but it's actually the aliens.
Yeah, they felt like a disruption.
Yeah, it was like a shaking. So he goes to get the paper, and all the neighbors are moving, not just one house. Like everybody's packing up.
And he is not bothered for it. He's like, oh, all these people are out, and casually looking around, like, what could this be? Like, look where they're looking.
And didn't he say something about like holiday weekend, or something like that? You know, we cut back. Everyone in David's office is evacuated. I think David was in New York.
He was.
Okay,
yes,
so I don't know if I said that before, but he is. So everyone in David's office is evacuated to the bomb shelter in the building, which lucky them. There was a bomb
they have
shelter.
one in the basement.
And he instructs Harvey Firestein's mother to evacuate. Mom, you gotta go now. He's like on the phone with her. Like first he's like, no, calm down. It's okay. And he's like, no, you tell her to evacuate. Mom, you gotta go. David figures out that aliens are setting up a way to strike. They're planning their attack. David is the president's secretary's ex-husband. That's his ex-wife. that he's so
small world.
Yes. So, and he tries to warn her. She ignores him, and there's a mass evacuation all over. But, like, where is everybody going? Like, it's all over the country.
Like, getting out of the city.
Yeah, but...
Because they're only over major cities.
Right, major cities.
So they're getting to the country,
right,
I guess.
Right. Except the New Mexico one, which is, but...
I mean, it's New Mexico. That's where the aliens like to hang out.
They do.
They like the desert climate.
They do. So Will Smith is in the military, and he had a leave of absence for the holiday, but it was canceled because of what's happening.
He got called back.
He got called back in. His girlfriend's name is Jasmine, and she is.
I thought it was Yasmin.
I don't think so.
I thought it was.
I don't think so.
Oh. Okay.
Jasmine / Yasmin. I think it's Jasmine. She's invited with son Dylan to stay on base with Will Smith.
Which that sounded like he needed permission for that.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, just come stay with me.
They're not married, and it's near impossible to get housing even when you are married. So I have questions, but okay, whatever. So people are looting and panicking. David, we cut back to David. He goes to his father and asks him for a ride to the White House. Be from New York, just a normal.
With all this traffic of people panicking to get out of the city. I don't know how they emerged.
I don't either. President Whitmore is trying to get his wife to go somewhere safe. She's doing some publicity.
Yeah.
She's doing something. She's got some job too. She's not just like first ladying. Like she's got some duties.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
Okay.
Where is she? California?
No. Oh.
Because
she's out by Jasmine. And Will Smith. Like I think you're right. I think at first I thought she was New York, but I think you're right. I think she might be California. I think they're out like LA-ish based. Okay. David is trying to hurry his dad along, who's just kind of putzing along. And I know Dad's been in other things too, because I recognize him.
His voice was very familiar.
He was a cute character. Obviously loves his son very much and very supportive, even though he doesn't agree with everything.
Yes.
Russell is trying to warn others about aliens, and maybe PTSD. He was a Vietnam pilot, a pilot in Vietnam as well. So everyone thinks he's crazy. He informed his 3 kids who are leaving without him that they're teenagers. He's informed by his 3 kids that they're leaving without him. And he's like,
picking up in their RV.
Yeah, and they seem like they're kind of, the one is younger, but the older 2 are like older teenagers.
Yeah, the oldest was probably like 20.
And the youngest was probably like maybe 8 to 10.
Oh, I think he was older.
You think he was older than that?
I think 10 to 12.
The little boy?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, maybe he was. But they say they seem to be raising themselves. I don't know where mom is.
Older brother is definitely.
Or did mom pass? I think they might have talked about that. I think they did talk about that. But
which also leads to why he's
kind of
how he is.
Yeah, exactly. He's had it rough.
He's on his own.
He's had it rough.
Yeah.
Will Smith is in the Marine Corps. His name, I finally got his name at this point. Stephen Hiller. He is denied a job, or he was denied a job at NASA. He was trying to get in at NASA, and he was thinking of proposing to Jasmine, but she could hurt his dream of flying on the space shuttle because she has a certain occupation.
She's an exotic dancer. Which I don't know why that hurts. Like, how do they even know?
Because when you are an astronaut, usually your stuff gets put out there, and then people are like, look at. But I don't think it would be near as bad as they're making it out to be, especially in that era. But you never know. I mean, the space program was still a big deal. You know. I mean, not that it's not now.
Yeah, it's probably bigger now than it was then even. Yeah.
Okay. But they were doing less missions then at that time.
True.
Like, they're doing more, I feel like, now.
Yes.
But, okay. So her friend Tiffany, who's also an exotic dancer, I put Alex from Saved by the Bell, the college.
Yes.
That's all I know her from. That and this.
I couldn't place her at first. I was like, wait a second.
And she's very eccentric. She's very quirky.
Uh-huh. That's a good word.
Uh-huh. And Traffic is she's very excited about the aliens. She wants to make contact.
I'm going to go talk to.
Yeah.
We have a party on the roof.
Yeah. Okay. So Traffic is all backed up, leaving the cities and in Washington, D.C. David and his dad are the only car going into D.C. Everybody else is leaving. It was very much like, if you're familiar with that Walking Dead scene where Rick's walking up on his horse and nobody's like moving in Atlanta. That's the same thing.
That is true.
Excuse me. Okay. So David is trying to look up his ex-wife. on his magic computer. I put again with the 1996
These
magic
90s and 80s computers that can do
anything you want them to do. Yeah. So he's using a phone to figure out where Constance, her name is Constance. I
never caught her name, so I'm glad I wrote it down.
Where she is in the White House. In the White House, not just where she's at in the city.
He has tracked her cell phone.
He used, and he's she used the last name Levinson, which is his last name, so he was a little happy about that.
Yeah.
For the listing, even though she never took his name when they were married.
Yes. This is Eleanor Waldorf from Gossip Girl, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Mom in Gossip
I
Girl.
knew she looked familiar, but I'm not a big Gossip Girl person, so I didn't.
Blair's mom.
Yeah, because he calls her Connie a couple times, so she's Constance.
Okay.
Connie. So David has a history of fighting with the president, who thought that the president Whitmore had an affair with Constance when they were married, and before Whitmore was president. So he may not listen to David because they've always worked closely, I guess, even before he was president.
Yeah.
And David has suspicions of him. There doesn't seem to be any nefarious
I
relationship
don't think so.
between them.
I think he was just the jealous type.
Yeah, I think so too. And a little insecure probably.
Yes.
David found out that the aliens are communicating and using their own Earth satellites against the human race.
Which he read through a series of zeros and ones.
Yes. His Jurassic Park training came back.
That must have been it.
Whitmore orders evacuation of cities as military plane is sent to the ship is evaporated. So I guess they sent another one, or is this the same first one? Because why would I put that way back there?
Yeah, I think this
is a number 2. One.
Yeah, because I think they went in like.
Oh yeah, they were gonna plan to like attack it.
Yes.
This time they weren't going up to make contact. They were going up to strike it, and it just fired right back at them, and they were just destroyed. So the White House is evacuating now. Jasmine and Mrs. Whitmore are evacuating. Jasmine's friend Tiffany is welcoming the aliens on the roof as the ship opens up. And she's very excited because it's opening up. There's a big light. Everybody's so excited on the roof. It's a bunch of crazy alien people. And it destroys the whole building.
Yes.
So they're
decimated.
Gone. David predicted the exact second it would happen. Destroying New York City, and Harvey Firestein's caught in it. Rest in peace. Yeah.
Yeah, his was a quick.
It was quick, but he knew it was. He was just like, oh, like he knew it was coming because he saw it. Yeah. Air Force One takes off very close to explosion when flying. Jasmine and Dylan, that must be her son. I didn't write that, but they take off by foot, and the dog along with them, and they make it to safety in time. So
they jump into like some like maintenance room.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Like
this is another one. We might cover it. We'll probably cover this later on. Dante's Peak.
Yes, it's
dogs.
on the list.
It's always the dogs. The dog, like when they stick a dog in these movies and it tries to kill you. Yeah.
I thought of what's the other Will Smith one with a dog? It's
Black?
It's like he's the last person on Earth, basically.
Oh, I don't think I saw that one.
That's a good movie.
It's a good one.
I can't remember the name of it though.
Okay. I think I know which one you're talking.
Drive me crazy.
She'll think of it maybe. So we're now at July 3rd. Russell here.
In a day.
Yes, it's a big day. The second was a big day. Russell hears the confirmed alien attacks, and his young son is very sick. He has a medical condition, and they destroyed an expensive RV. Oh yeah, destroyed an expensive RV because he's not a little kid anymore. I roll. I put because he's like throwing a tantrum, like he's just messing.
Not okay anymore.
But he's not taking his medicine, and he's really sick.
Yeah, like you need us to live, dude.
Yeah. No news on Whitmore's wife yet. They lost radio contact because she was going to get in the helicopter and be airlifted. We didn't hear.
And they said like it never left.
They never left.
Made it out.
They never lifted off or whatever.
So
he has fearing the worst right now at this point. And she was with Jasmine and Dylan. Jasmine, Dylan, and the dog emerged from the tunnel to LA looking like a warland. Hiller, that's Will Smith, is being sent to the alien to attack the aliens. Missiles are fired and they're not impacting the alien ship at all. There's a force field protecting it. The aliens are firing back and wiping out military planes.
They just come.
Yeah, they're just
like
gone.
Little tiny ones come out of the big one.
Yep, it's not even a contest.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so Whitmore calls to abort the mission, and alien mini ships are also protected by shields. And Hiller is the only supervisor. I put? Or Survivor. Yeah,
yes.
I was like, yeah. So he's the only one that lived from this mission.
Yeah. His partner in crime.
Yeah.
Friend.
They were like all excited about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They always share a cigar.
Yeah, they had a tradition where they take a cigar with them in their pocket for afterwards.
They don't smoke it until the fat lady sings.
That's right. So aliens are now targeting the military post. And Hiller is still evading mini ships. He flies, flies scene identical to Star Wars Phantom Menace. Because it goes through that, like... And he...
Yes.
Yeah, it's just like the scene. I didn't know it. Because we saw this when I was 10, maybe. And then Phantom Menace came out 3 years later, and I didn't make the connection. Yes. Because I was younger.
Time out. When did we see this? Like, where were we?
Driving.
Okay.
So, we probably weren't paying complete attention there.
It was probably the second movie. We were tired.
Yep. So, it said, identical to Star Wars Phantom Menace, 3 years prior to Phantom Menace coming out. But it looks identical to that scene. And I'm like, George Lucas, right. You
hound dog.
You little scoundrel. Hiller successfully gets the alien mini ships down, or gets an alien mini ship down, and he punches the alien in the face. I said, that's enough force to take out the alien.
Yeah. Yes. And we later learned this is body armor on this alien.
Yeah.
So
this isn't even the alien.
He knocked it out. It's not dead.
No, just stunned.
For a long time.
Yeah. For like a very extensive time, Russell's kid is very sick without his medicine, and David's father is telling Constance that David still loves her. David's dad encourages them to check out Area 51. President didn't know it was real, though.
Yeah, he's like, that's not a thing. And then the Secretary of Defense is like,
actually,
hold on a minute.
Yeah, he's like, actually, sir.
Yes. What they call it, like plausible deniability or something.
Yeah, that's what they said. They didn't want him to know everything because then he'd have plausible deniability when asked about it. Of course, now we all know. There's so much being hidden. Jasmine's group finds the First Lady in the helicopter crash and tries to help badly injured First Lady. Hiller is dragging the alien in a parachute through the desert.
And, like, yelling at it.
He's
so
funny. So mad. Like, this is great. This was like Will Smith's, like, breakout role, though, wasn't it? Yeah, I thought so.
And then, like you said,
aside from Fresh Prince, but, like,
this
like
was
motion
first
pictures.
Movie,
yeah.
He said, like, what's that smell?
Yeah. He runs into Russell's RV cavalcade and takes it to unmarked base as Whitmore arrives at Area 51. They enter Dr. Oaken at Area 51, and they're all just standing around it in a clean room without hazmat because President Whitmore says so.
Yeah, he's like, just let me in. He's like, all right.
Yeah,
guess I have to.
Takes the president to the ship recovered in the 50s and trying to repair since the 60s. So, and they haven't done it yet. So, I mean,
and this scientist, this lead guy, is a real quirk.
He's a quirk too, yeah. But you kind of have to be, I think, to be the head of Area 51.
Yeah, that's true.
So the last 24 to 48 hours, the ship that crashed in the 50s has been reacting to the aliens showing up.
Yes, it's communicating.
Yeah,
now.
and it's taking Whitmore's group to see the aliens that have been preserved.
Bodies dead, correct? Like dead aliens.
Some. No, yes.
Preserved.
These ones are dead. Yes.
Those floating around.
I got confused because of the one that Will Smith brought in. Yes. Bodies are frail as humans once you get through their technology, is what Dr. Oaken said.
He said they're very similar to how we are. Like,
right. But they just have such superior, like, protection.
Yeah. Like
that's
why they breathe oxygen. Sorry, excuse me.
Okay, where did I get? Okay. So Whitmore recommends that David shares what he's learned, and Hiller arrives at the base and is not cleared to pass until he shows the dead alien to the security guy. He's like, can't let you through. He's like, oh yeah. Yeah. He's like, all right.
Okay, but they also send the entire RV group, the whole evacuation.
Yeah.
Like, why would you allow everybody through? Let Will Smith through. Keep them out.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense.
I mean, Randy Quaid pulls the, I'm X, whatever.
But he didn't at that moment.
He didn't at that moment. Yeah, that's true. I guess he's like, well, they're with me.
Yeah.
David shows more, or knows more than the scientists at the Area 51 somehow.
Yeah.
Hiller brings in the alien, which is still alive, and Russell forces help for his sick son. Because, like, while he's there, he uses that. Maybe that was kind of part of it, too. He kind of busted through because he's like, this is my chance to get my kids some medicine.
This was after they drove through, though.
Yeah.
They were allowed in.
But okay. I was trying to...
You're trying to
justify it, but it's not.
No.
Okay. It was shoddy security work.
I mean, when presented with a dead alien, maybe.
Yeah, I think
like,
I'd be
okay.
a little stunned. Everybody! Whitmore has explained that the human race is close to extinction if nothing is done. Hiller learns El Toro is destroyed, which is where Jasmine and Dylan were. So that whole city is gone.
They were going there because that's where the
that's where they were headed. Yeah. Oh, that's right. He was sending them to the base.
And he learns that El Toro was destroyed, and he's like, well, that's where they were going.
Yeah.
So he assumes they're
gone. Yeah. Jasmine makes friends with the first lady and cares for the first lady, but even though she voted for the other guy. Maybe don't tell her that.
Yeah. Well, I love when, like, she's like, oh, what do you do for a living?
Yeah.
I'm a dancer.
Oh,
ballet.
Exotic.
She's just...
yeah, okay.
And the first lady, like, oh, okay, sorry.
Sorry, yeah. Dr. Oaken is taking off the suit of the alien who attacks the scientist with sound.
Super gross surgery.
Yeah.
Like, cutting through.
Ew. Dr. Oaken is also manipulated by the alien to say, release me.
Yeah, it's like got him by the throat. Yeah. And it's like this creepy voice. That was scary. Like,
yeah, he was like manipulating his vocal cords. Yeah. Whitmore tries to negotiate with the alien who says no peace is possible and he wants humans dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're like, what do you want? Dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
Military guys shoot the alien through the bulletproof glass.
No, it's not bulletproof. They said, is it bulletproof? And they said, no.
Oh,
good.
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought it was.
So, no.
Okay. Whitmore saw alien plan when attacked, and like plan when they were attacked.
Yeah, like it went into his head, like affected his vision, and then he could see what their plan was.
Yes, and
which that seems like a poor thing on their part. Why would you give away what you're gonna do?
Yeah, and they're like locusts. They said that he said that they go from planet to planet until the resources are used up.
Suck it all up and then move along.
David and Constance discuss Whitmore's plan to use nukes and their failed relationship. As one does.
This is just casual conversation at the bar cart of Area 51.
Yeah. Hiller borrows the helicopter to look for Jasmine, and Whitmore.
I think it's Yasmin.
I don't think it is. Whitmore deploys nukes in Houston, but does nothing to alien ship, and the target remains.
And then I was thinking, like, so Houston's been nuked? Like, did it have fallout? Like,
did everybody get out?
Did this go through?
Yeah.
They said, like, it's been evacuated. We're not checking, though.
No, exactly. Okay. They abort the mission and call other planes back, and then Hiller finds that Jasmine's group miraculously he finds them in this helicopter that he's just sweeping the area for.
Where were they? He like landed there.
Yeah.
They were just roaming through the desert.
Yeah.
And he just lands. Yeah. And strolls on up.
So they get the first lady to the hospital, but the bleeding can't be stopped.
Which I was very confused about. Like, they didn't seem like they were doing anything. No. Like, they're not trying to stop this bleeding.
No I think it's internal. And it
took a while.
It did. She hung on for longer than I remembered her hanging on for. So she gets to say goodbye to her daughter and husband. I put kind of. Because they kind of just send the daughter out of the room.
Yeah, she like hugs her and is like, I can't. And gets her out. It's like, wouldn't you want to go?
I would want to see my kids till the last
And they never really explain it to the child.
No, they don't. Mommy's just asleep.
Yeah, mommy's sleeping.
Yep. So we cut to July 4th.
The big day.
The big day. David is throwing a tantrum about the environment. And Dad is discussing losing faith. And David realizes that the way to beat the aliens is to make shields. To make shields sick with a virus to disable the shields. But we'll have to infect the mothership by using the 1950 ship. But it will only buy a couple minutes. It's not going to...
So like his dad said, like, get off that cold floor. You're going to catch a cold.
Catch a cold.
Like,
that's what? Catch a cold. Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'll just...
Infected.
On my computer, make a virus.
As one does. Hiller volunteers to fly the ship and take out the shields. And Hiller and David question each other and make friends. Because they're kind of like challenging each other. Even like
they're very different.
They're very different. Yes. But yeah. All the armies of the world are working together and get the message out through Morse code what they're going to do.
So like Mr. Secretary of Defense was like, this is never going to work. And it's like, dude, what else are you going to do?
I know, you gotta try something, yeah.
This is the best thing we got so far.
And it was funny because, like, who was it, the Irish Army or the British Army? Somebody, they were like, oh, the Americans have a plan.
It was the British I think. They're like, it's about time.
Yeah, it's about time. Like, oh, okay, leave it to America again to save the world. Difficulty finding pilots to do this mission. Russell volunteers, and he wants payback after he was captured by aliens 10 years ago. Pilots will only have 30 seconds to get out once the virus is planted. And David will actually implant the virus, but Constance doesn't want him to go.
Yes.
But who else is going to do it? He's the only one who knows, like...
Yeah, he's like, if something goes wrong, I have to be there. It's like, well, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely you do.
Yes.
You're the only one who's figured this out. You have to be there.
You're the only one who's got that fancy little computer that can do anything.
Constance didn't give a crap about you at the beginning of the movie. So.
Yes, and all of a sudden she's like, please don't go.
Hiller and Jasmine quickly get married. It's a very quick, on base marriage.
Hasty
little wedding.
Little shotgun wedding there before hopping in the spaceship from 1950.
Yes. That's what they're going to use to fly. So, Constance and David are witnesses, and they see that she sees that David is still wearing his wedding band and seemingly reconcile.
Yes, they hold hands.
Yeah. Whitmore is surprised that the pilots look young and scared for some reason. I'm like, buddy, do you know how old people are that go into the military? And President Whitmore supposedly was in the military before he was president, so he should know how young military people look.
and again, disregard for his daughter. He's like, I'm a pilot.
She's going to be an orphan maybe, but
sure. I'll jump in the fighter pilot. I'm only leading this whole mission.
So we go into Whitmore's epic speech.
Oh, it is wonderful.
It pumps you up. I watched this one day. We watched this like 2 years ago before the night before the 4th of July, and it just got you ready to go.
Yes. My husband and I were watching this together, and he had it memorized. He was saying it as it was going. I was like, you know the whole speech? He was like, yeah, it's great. And fun fact, like they all cheer when he like announces it.
Yeah.
They weren't instructed to.
I know.
He was just so good at delivering it that everybody
wasn't
crazy.
A lot of this like him too, because like they weren't sure if they were going to keep this scene in.
And
they were like, "We'll just do whatever." And but it's like the most iconic scene.
It's so good. It's a good speech.
In fact, like I'm a Bob's Burgers fan. Who's your favorite president, Gene? President Whitmore. And they said that there's going to be a new Independence Day meaning because now it's the whole world's Independence Day. It's not just America's.
Yes, we can all share.
Yes, and he successfully hypes up the pilots. So President Whitmore will also be flying. May orphan his daughter. Everyone is saying goodbye. Hiller will watch fireworks when he gets home. And David's dad is proud of him because that's what his stepson said. Like, well, I thought we were going to watch the fireworks. And he's like,
I promise you, when I get back, we'll have some fireworks.
Yeah. They're about to leave, and Hiller almost forgets the cigars. He said he almost blew the whole damn thing. It's his luck ritual, so he has to have the cigars. Russell almost launches a missile immediately by accident upon entering the aircraft, but he said he picked a heck of a day to quit drinking.
He's turning around. His kids are now proud of him suddenly.
Yeah.
They're happy that he's working hard finally.
Hiller flies the alien ship and is immediately puts it in reverse by accident. David is airsick. And they're on some other ship that he like puts it on reverse by accident. So he's like ready to crash into a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah. He fixes it.
Yeah. Aliens may have figured out the plan. They're heading right for it. Now, the aliens detect the ship and start the 1950s alien craft and start beaming it into the mothership.
Yes.
So the alien military is prepared inside for invasion. So Hiller loses control because they're
it just takes over and does it itself. But I was thinking, like, I wonder if the aliens were thinking, like, oh, well, this one finally got free.
Yeah, we got this one back. Like, I don't know that they necessarily.
I don't think they thought it was
anybody was in it, but or maybe they thought the guy that Will Smith got control of that ship or something. Yeah. Because who else would know how to fly it?
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of aliens.
There were.
The ships.
Yeah.
Yeah, so who knows?
Okay. David gets into the system and starts uploading the virus, and it is complete. The first
fastest upload ever.
Yeah, for real. In the days of like where
Dial
Windows
tone.
might tell
I
you
wanted that.
where Windows tells you 3 days until estimated completion. The first shot doesn't work. The shield is still up, and Whitmore tries a second after the military and is just ready to quit.
Yeah,
because like they're always ready to quit. Like
yep,
the second,
they're like, that one missile.
Call them back.
Call them back. We won't keep trying, or like fly to a different spot.
Yeah, something. Mm-hmm. So David and Hiller are stuck in the mega alien ship.
Yeah, so
they're still in the old ship.
Pulled in, they're locked in,
and they're unable to leave. And the aliens are now controlling the Hiller and David ship, the 1950s ship. They don't know why they didn't. I don't know why they didn't consider this when they were first pulled and locked in.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah,
I guess they figured that once they took down the other ships,
but they would be exploded.
Yeah,
but yeah, we didn't think about this part. Yeah. So we're trying to take out the mothership before the primary weapon is fired. Okay, so they're trying to take out the mothership before the primary weapon is fired. All pilots, that was a very unique word on my part. All pilots are out of weapons. Russell's the only one with weapons left, but it's malfunctioning at the last minute. And Russell tells them to tell his kids that he loves them, and he's sucked up into the ship while somehow destroying the ship.
Because he flew into them with the missile.
Okay.
So it made it detonate.
Yeah. So he sacrificed himself. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm having a moment.
No, that's okay. Take your time. I did a couple of weeks ago, so. David and Hiller are still stuck. They light up cigars and are somehow unaffected by the ship exploding.
Yeah. So, but when the ship explodes,
well, they're taunting the aliens while firing missiles, and they get disengaged and start flying out.
Because it knocked them free.
Yeah.
Because it was shifting.
Yeah. So they're flying out in peril. The entire mothership is destroyed magically.
Must go faster. Must go faster.
Whitmore and other pilots are returning safe. The whole world is celebrating the alien explosion. Hiller and David finally are found on radar. They were the only ones who weren't detected at first.
Yeah, they thought, they're gone. Yeah. They're lost.
And their ladies are taken to the desert to meet them. All hugs. They just walk up that
They're smoking their cigars.
Yeah, they're strut.
That lady sang.
Yeah. He had to explain that to David because David was like, I don't smoke, you know.
Yeah. His whole personality changes, but like he looks so cool.
He's so confident and just like, look what I did. Like, well, he's finally a macho man. Like
they were strutting.
They were strutting.
I would be too if I just say that.
Absolutely. Whitmore, President Whitmore thanks Hiller and David in the desert, and all watch the burning, exploded ships as they're touching down all over because they're just falling. All the ones that were hovering are just crashing now. They're just President's daughter says, "Happy 4th of July, Daddy." And Hiller says, "Didn't I promise you fireworks to his stepson?"
Yeah, with exploding alien bodies.
And then the end.
The end. I mean, it's a neat little package.
It is, but it's a wasteland of aliens.
That's the thing is, like, the planet's basically destroyed. Like, all the major cities are gone.
Either nuked or...
Yes! Or just completely exploded by the aliens.
If anybody knows about Chernobyl, you still can't go back to Chernobyl, and it's been 35 years.
Yeah, we're just going to cut Texas off of America and just send it out to sea because... It's destroyed.
And so much destruction, so this was...
Yeah.
But it was a great movie.
It really was.
This is a summer blockbuster. This is what you think of. It's not...
This is what the world is lacking these days.
It's not what they try to peddle today. Mm-hmm. This was what we wanted.
Mm-hmm. This is the good stuff.
How did you like it?
Loved it.
Loved it, yes.
I didn't know what to expect because I'm not an action kind of movie.
And you were younger when you saw it.
I was younger, so I only remember like bits and pieces. I had no idea what the actual story was. Like, I know aliens come to Earth, but like...
I remember the part when I was a kid watching it the first time at the drive-in where they were like, she's an exotic dancer. I'm like, oh.
Ooh, saucy.
Yeah, so I was like, oh no.
But I remember really liking Will Smith.
Yeah. Everybody did.
Yeah. He's so likable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, I mean, this is just a great movie. This is not subject to any rating by us, any of our standardized ratings, because
This is not the summer movies.
No, this was for fun. We all went as a family to the drive-in and saw it. And I hadn't seen it again until like 2 years ago, and then I rewatched it.
This was the first time I had seen it since childhood, so it was a
But
treat.
it holds up.
Yes,
it does. And it's
so this 4th of July, you have this week now. Watch it.
It's gonna pump you all up and make you very patriotic.
You're gonna get those sparklers out.
Yes,
it's gonna be glorious.
All right, but thank you. Do you have any things you want to?
I'm trying. There's a part where Harvey Fierstein says he's got to call his lawyer to warn him, and he says, "Forget my lawyer."
Yeah.
But his mouth doesn't line up. He says a different F word.
Did it get cut for the PG-13 rating?
Yes.
Okay.
They dubbed it so that they could keep it PG-13
because they wanted it to be for everybody.
Because as we were watching it, my husband was like, "Oh, do we have a made-for-TV version?" Like, what happened? I was like, I didn't even notice it. And then when I looked it up, I was like, oh my gosh, that's what it was. You were right.
That's fun. I remember that scene. Yes. I thought that was funny. Yeah, it was right near the beginning of the movie.
This is great because it has little like humor moments.
Yeah.
It's not all heavy, but it's an action
It is.
story.
And there's enough of like a story to keep you. It's not just exploding like the whole time. Like there's enough of a story to keep you hooked and interested
definitely.
too.
Yes. Good one.
But highly recommend. Holds up. Check it out.
I'd vote for Whitmore.
Maybe.
I don't know his policies.
I don't know his policies enough, but yeah.
He could fly a plane really well. He's a good pilot. So
he makes some questionable nuking decisions and some questionable child rearing
decisions. Family decisions aren't quite up there. Okay, maybe I'm gonna reconsider that.
We'll have to see who the other guy is, but
that's true.
But thank you for joining us for another Movie Monday. Please follow, subscribe, all of our stuff. We're at Sisters and Ebert on Facebook and Instagram. And please like and comment on our YouTube channel and subscribe and all the stuff.
Yes, please.
And we'll see you at the movies.